and taking a note from Lee Unfiltered. She started filming in her car like this, so it was less distracting. Oh my god. The weirdest people live in my building now. Like, they've all got to be on drugs. They look like escaped clowns. There's a lot of people moving in and out of my building lately. I mean, there kind of always is, but there's definitely been an influx recently. And I saw two guys, or at least one guy's moving in, maybe the other person was his friend. But kind of cute. But you know what? It's not the first time that a kind of cute dude moves into my building, and it just means absolutely nothing. I also have a little bit of a prejudice against doing any kind of thing, getting too chummy with any of the cute guys that move into my building, because one, I'm not trying to basically be shacking up with some dude that lives in my building. And it's also like, I'm sorry, I want a guy that I'm dating to be more financially secure than living in my apartment with me. And actually, the last guy who was a cute guy that I had some level of rapport with, it was interesting. And this is not what I intended my car vlog to be about. I actually want to talk about something completely different, but here we go. So there was this guy that moved into my building, I guess, like a couple of years ago. And I actually met him because I was stopping by the bar that the businessman owns, he still owns it. The one that I saw recently on a Mac event day that I hadn't talked to for at least a full year after I wrote a scathing letter. The married businessman who was trying to get up in my jibs and just use me. Hell no, nobody uses me unless I want them to. Like, if I want to give you something, I'll give you something, but you're not using me for shit. So, especially a man. So anyway, yeah, I had stopped by one night to get some takeout food, and I saw this guy who was like just having a drink, who was a seat away from me, and I noticed him, but we didn't say anything to each other. I don't think he said anything to me. And then I drove back to my apartment, and somehow when I was walking into my apartment building, there was a guy up ahead holding the door open for me, and it was him. So we recognized each other and we got to talking, and then we spent like 45 minutes talking outside of my apartment before I was like, all right, well, I gotta call it a night. But it was very much like a little meet cute kind of thing. And it could have started off into something else. And he did tell me that I was pretty. And I feel like it was just a line. Because also, I literally just saw him drinking. And what he was probably hoping for was that he'd call me pretty. And then I'd be like, oh, well, like, you're cute too. Do you want to, like, hang out for a little bit? And then we'd go into one of our apartments, probably mine, because I wasn't the one who just moved in. And then he'd get to feel up on my jibs and maybe get into my jibs. And when that was not a thing that happened, and I was just like, okay, well, like, it's been a really cool conversation. I'm glad we got to meet, and, like, have a good rest of your night. And then we went our separate ways, and we would still say hello and stuff to each other. But he never asked for my number, and he never asked me out on a date. He never did anything with it, and he totally could have. I mean, sure, I didn't extend the evening, but we literally live in the same building. So if you were interested, like, you would have done something about it. And then I remember it was like February, it was before Valentine's Day, and I saw him at the Macy's that I work with, but he didn't see me, and he was with a girl. So maybe that wasn't his girlfriend for reals yet, but he was seeing somebody, which I know that's like not a crime, but I mean, they were like holding hands and it was around Valentine's Day. So you were trying to get up in my gyps, but you like had a Valentine? Shady. He was a fireman, by the way. Always suspicious of firemen for so many reasons. But yeah, so I saw him then, and then after so much time had passed, he brought her to the apartment, and then they were like in a relationship, and actually he moved out a few months ago. And I learned, because I talked to him, I had one more real conversation with him. I had one real conversation with him when he moved in, and one real conversation with him when he left. And I learned that he recently came back from honeymooning with her in Europe. So they got married, because he would just disappear for durations of time. But yeah, he ended up getting married to her. They went on a honeymoon, and then they were moving into her parents' condo and like renting it from them. So this is why I wouldn't date somebody from my apartment, especially because those guys aren't making things happening for themselves. They're going to try to attach themselves to whomever they date to get themselves out of there. Like, that guy was not buying a house, getting that condo from being a fireman. He found a girl who clearly did not have a lot of self-worth, because I saw how she was bebopping around. He always looked better than her. He did. He always looked very put together, very nice. He wasn't incredibly handsome in the face, but like, he always did his haircut and he always put effort into his look. Not in like a gay way, but you know, he was just put together. And I liked that about him. But she was not. So I know that he probably found her off Tinder, started fucking her, and then they started dating. He was hoping for like some action from me. That didn't end up happening. So he was like, all right, well, I'm gonna bring her to like this apartment then, and it doesn't matter, because clearly I ain't getting nothing from Danielle. So he did, and then he was like, oh, your parents own property and I could live in somewhere better than this apartment? Of course I want to marry you. And then they got married, and now he has shimmied his way to somewhere else, and he is just going to use that woman. But anyway, what I wanted to talk about actually today was how viscerally and aggressively true it is, and that women know best. This feeling will not last forever. And we know that so aggressively because of our monthly cycles. Like, I love that even if I didn't, and I'm not going to post all of the vlogs that I did in the last 4 days, because the one on day 1 of my period, I don't know. I have to watch it back, but in my memory, I feel like it was kind of foul. Like, I was just complaining and yelling and hating men in that video and the world, because women are not understood for the constant struggles that we have to go through that we can't even control. Like, I didn't ask to suffer every fucking month. And it's not like you just become immune or develop a tolerance to it. You just learn and apparently accept and downplay the pain and torture and struggle that you have to go through, because you've been taught that nobody cares, nobody wants to hear it, and actually nothing changes for you. And it's so upsetting, it's so frustrating. But it is crazy getting to watch back that footage where I'm just really talking about everything in my car vlogs. And I was able to go back and log on my period app about the different states that I was feeling, like how much different day to day my body felt and the symptoms, and then how my mind and my mood and my emotions and my like mental well-being was. It was so dramatic. 2 days ago was fucking terrible. And then yesterday I ended up going to the gym and I was like pretty neutral and fine. And then now today, even though I could definitely use a shower because I did not shower after the gym last night. I just put on new clothes and went to bed. I couldn't bother. So I'm like icky in a European way today. Like I have new clothes on and I have some perfume on and my hair still looks good, but like I'm kind of grimy and I'm just rolling with it because I'm gonna go to the gym again today and then I'm gonna shower after that. And by the next day, by tomorrow, I'll mostly be out of my period. Like I'll just get to wear a pad. And that was one of the things that I also wanted to talk about because things change so much from day to day on your period. Like it's a totally different vibe each day, from physically to mentally and emotionally and psychologically. But also things that I've realized about having my period over the last, well, I'm 32, so I've had my period for 20 years and I've done all different kinds of things. And let me tell you about how to have the best period. So first of all, I want to qualify that I have never believed in using hormonal birth control or like anything invasive put into my body. I've never been on birth control. What I have done when I was sexually active, which if you don't know, I'm not sexually active and I have not been for years, but I would track my period cycles, use condoms, use the withdrawal method, and that always worked for me. I was never going to do something that I viewed as harming my body. And respectfully, I'm sure if you're watching this, you've went the way of those other birth control methods, because honestly, most women do. It gives them mental security, but it gave me the opposite of mental security. Like that was never going to be my vibe. So I do mention that because I do feel that if you've been on hormonal birth control for a long time, you're just not going to have the same experience as me anyway. So I want to qualify that. But I was using tampons for like 7 years, right? The first 7 years, because that's what you get told to do. And then I realized that I thought tampons were disgusting. And I still think that. And then I moved to having a menstrual cup. And I loved having the menstrual cup for many years. I used a menstrual cup for probably another, I don't even know how long. Like I only stopped using a menstrual cup maybe a year ago, and I regressed back to using pads and actually diapers. And I got no shame about it, because using a diaper during the worst parts of your period gives you that security of not leaking out of a pad or like getting things all over the place. Now I will say it is a little bit of an adjustment to figure out your outfits so that it's not obvious that you are wearing a diaper. But man, the first 1 to 3 days of my period, I'm wearing a diaper. I don't care, because a pad isn't enough, and I'm not using a menstrual cup anymore. I realized, and I didn't realize this for a long time, and I'm like, was I just not aware, or it wasn't the same situation physiologically? But when I tried to wear a Diva cup or whatever cup I was using the last few periods that I was using it, it was like I could feel that there wasn't enough space in my abdominal area to account for all of my organs that were there, my engorged uterus, and then also this cup. And the cup was likely to leak a little bit anyway. So I was already wearing a pad and I felt so uncomfortable, and it was making the cramping so much worse. And I swear it was making my periods longer because the blood couldn't just come out the way that it wanted to. There was this blockage and I was literally clogging it. So I got to a point where it was too uncomfortable for me to have that in there. And I just accepted that I wasn't going to do that. And then I kept not doing that for, it's probably been 4 or 5 cycles at least at this point, and my periods have literally never been better. So even if you are on hormonal birth control or you've messed with your cycles in some way, I'm sure that this will still help, because if you look into it, there's information online, medical research and all of that. I'm not a scientist. I'm a pop star, not a doctor. But it supports that allowing the blood to just come out is going to make your periods better. I think it, even without that research or whatever done, did we really need it? Does it make sense to clog that system? Do you think it's going to make anything better? No, it's just you going through this effort of downplaying having a period and pretending like it isn't there. I'm not pretending nothing. I'm fully aware that it's happening all day, the whole day that I'm experiencing it. Every time I go to the bathroom, I have to change out what I'm using. Now, I will eventually try to maybe get like reusable diapers and pads, because I'm always aware of how my disposable items are impacting the environment, and I don't want to do that as much as possible. But for now, like, I haven't found my avenue with that. But I would just really encourage using these items and also period underwear, because shoving that stuff up you, even if it's medical grade silicone, just the foreign object in that space, when that area is doing so many different things and things are expanding and shrinking and moving, like there's a lot going on and you're disrupting a whole ecosystem and you're making it worse for yourself. But now periods are just straight up not a big deal for me. I get through them so much quicker. Like I said, day 1, it fucking sucks. Day 2 is fine. And now I'm at day 3 and life is good again. And it feels like it's already starting to taper off. So just my 2 cents. I know that a lot of people don't want to do that, but I do think it's the best thing for us as women. And it's going to make your cycle so much easier to deal with. Less painful, less amount of time dedicated to dealing with it, because you're just accepting it, letting it happen, and doing what's good for you. And that's all I got to say about that. I'm about to go inside because I do need to clock in. I got 3 minutes. Here I'm just filming some swatches so that Tiffany can take the footage that I have of the products she doesn't have at home and put it together so we have a nice video promoting our event on Sunday. These are the liquid blushes, and Tiffany made a video prior to this on her own page where she had the product components in it at all, and Mac saw the video and commented on it and was like, where did you get these? Because she was not supposed to do that. So I've been making a joke, and hopefully she doesn't get taken out by the Mac Mafia for showing the unreleased products. I love her, but what a little dummy. Anyways, it was so dead in here, and I was hoping that if I abandoned my counter and just had my little walkie-talkie thing on me, that I would just wander around in the store and send texts letting people know that we were having the launch party on Sunday. And now I'm just literally in shoes doing my texting, and I was just hoping that there would be some people who came through and needed my help doing something, and maybe one thing would lead to another, and they would end up buying some Mac, or I'd sell something else to them. Either way, just making my day move a little bit faster. So I just got a call. Somebody let me know that there was a person at Mac, and I'm walking over there to see what they need.
I was just looking. Thank you.
Oh, okay. I got a call, so I wasn't sure if you needed some help.
No. Actually, she was helping me over here. So.
I gotcha. You're welcome. It's so funny because I specifically went, and I was just standing in handbags while I do this because I'm like, if I go, someone will come. That's just how the universe works. And I was literally over there for 3 minutes, maybe.
And then she came.
But then she wanted to do nothing. She was just like, I was just looking. I had a dream
That I got a Mac.
that I got more cups.
Maybe it'll be like a reality.
Yeah,
You guys should sell them.
they're nice cups.
Like you can fill them with stuff. Like
Honestly,
makeup stuff.
yeah, that would be an amazing like prize or gift
A little
to
purse
get.
situation.
Hey, did you need help with anything? A party purse?
I have like for a wedding.
Uh-huh.
I have a navy dress.
Okay.
So I wanted to, I was thinking I might wear like a nudish tan color shoe.
So you want the purse to match the shoe or the dress?
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
How much fabric is there to the dress?
It's like a slim dress with a little ruffles here on the side, and on top it's almost like got a embroidered mesh or something on the neckline.
Are there other colors?
No, it's all navy.
Okay. Do you know what you're doing, like makeup and hair?
I haven't decided. I'll probably wear it, but with curls.
Mm-hmm. A makeup?
Probably fairly natural, not too much.
Are you gonna have like a lip? Like a lip? Like, what kind of lip color?
Oh, probably reddish, yeah.
Okay. So, based on that, I mean, I think it would be cute to have a nude purse so it doesn't just blend in with the dress. Like if you have some kind of rouging and almost like a ruffle and embroidery, you don't, I probably wouldn't have it be navy at that point because then there's just too much navy. Like navy is even extending off of you.
Right.
So
That's why I thought nude color.
yeah. Is it nude like a cream?
Maybe
Nude
almost like a
brown?
champagne. Almost.
Okay. Yeah. How big do you want it to be?
I want to be able to put my phone and maybe some lotion and lipstick.
Would around this size be good? Or is this too big?
Too big,
Okay.
I thought.
We looked around for a while, but unfortunately, we just didn't have any bags that were fancy enough, the right size, and nude. So She didn't end up getting anything, and I went back to my Mac counter, not quite defeated because I really don't care, I guess, if somebody buys a bag, but I did want to help her. I just could not. But when I got back to my counter, I did have a lady who bought a lipstick, so that was good, but we are not super profitable today, which sucks, but I'm hoping for a very profitable weekend, so wish me luck, I guess.